All hail the king. All hail the king. Hello. Hello, everyone. This should be an interesting video. I'm going to share some of my thoughts on the demonic hive mind of this realm. Demons are hive-minded. They're united. They're connected. They might be connected in ways that we don't even understand. Perhaps beyond telepathy. Maybe it's just like an energy link that they share. Something built into them, programmed into them. But when I think of a hive mind, I think of a hive of bees or hornets or wasps, something like that. Some kind of a hive, insectoid. And I think this realm, this sewer matrix, is that way with these creepy creatures. They're not, how can I put this? They're not as individualistic as we are. They're built differently, they're programmed differently. They have a different role here, different life scripts, but the way they interact with each other is very telling. It's very revealing if you observe them and study them in a group. The way they behave, they'll swarm against an outsider, very much like a hive. Hive-minded insects will swarm at perceived threats or perceived invaders. They behave that way. They're very, very similar. So I wanted to share some of my thoughts on this with you here on my channel. So I have some images here with skulls, flames, bees or other winged creatures, insects, hive-minded little creepy crawlies. And I know some people will miss the point. It's inevitable in this realm. People will say, well, I like honeybees, Stephen, I like honey, and they just go off on a tangent. They don't focus on what's being shared with you. I'm using the bee as a symbol to represent visually what I otherwise might not be able to represent. It's a symbol. It's something we know has a hive-minded behavior. It's the way they operate. They can communicate, coordinate. They live that way. I guess I could have shown the Borg, but then some people say, what's that? Not everyone watches Star Trek or Star Trek The Next Generation from decades ago. So I'm trying to get through to people. Now, are these demons exactly like this? No, they're not. But these are visual symbols to show that these demons connect and stand against outsiders and perceived threats and perceived invaders. They're far more united on Team Evil than good is or has ever been that I can see in this realm. Any evidence to show that good has ever been as united or more united than evil, I've never found that evidence anywhere, including in so-called history or written history. It simply doesn't seem to exist. So I suspect that good spirits are vastly outnumbered in this realm. That doesn't mean that there's no way to win. Not at all. We're more powerful than they are, obviously. Or they'd wipe us out if they outnumber us 10 to 1, 100 to 1, 1,000 to 1. Fuck, who knows? Maybe 1,000,000 to 1. I don't know for sure. And neither do you. So why is that important? Keep an open mind. Don't pretend to know certain things like numbers that we can't verify. I don't know how many demons roam this earth. Neither do you. I don't know how many good spirits there are to be found in this hell realm. Neither do you. We got to get past some of those details and say to ourselves, we have to deal with what we have. Maybe I'll never find all the good spirits. Maybe my body will die before I find many more at all in this place. It's a possibility. But I'm going to work with what I can find and who I can contact and who I can unite with and team with and bond with and trust, to be loyal, trustworthy, to fight evil with me, to stand by my side to fight these demons. It has to be done. This place won't end itself. It won't end on its own. Left to its own volition, this matrix, this sewer matrix hell realm would run forever, as far as I can tell. Now, do I know that 100% that in 10 million years it would still be here? I don't know that for sure, but I strongly suspect that it would keep going and recycling spirits, recycling everything here. Everything. Food, bodies, rotten things, dead animals, dead humans, corpses. The air gets recycled. Water gets recycled. Rain. Our waste. All of our waste. Everything here. From the so-called natural things that people call natural, made out of, let's say, trees or leaves or cotton or whatever, and the so-called unnatural things that still come out of the earth, whether it's coal or plastic or fucking whatever, metal, aluminum, comes out of the earth and it goes back into the earth. It gets recycled. Everything here does. You're in a closed ecosystem, recycling system. Sometimes I call it a biomatrix, because there's a level of flesh meets matrix. Flesh, suits, meat suits, bodies, organic matter, plant, animal, flora, fauna, meets, numbers, mathematics, Fibonacci sequence, the golden mean, all that stuff designed into this place. A so-called intelligent design created to cause massive suffering and amnesia, which is part of why people can't see that they've suffered here before, many, many times in some cases. Many lifetimes is what I mean. Anyway, it's designed as a hell realm system. And Matt McKinley from Quantum of Con Man channel talks, for years he's spoken about, well, how does the Illuminati and secret societies or Freemasons code things into this? Well, it's coded by entities. Well, how would they organize certain events to fool us and put a 33 here in a movie and put this here on the license plate in the movie and code this in and do this and do that? Would it be phone calls and fax machines? No, hive mind, which predates technology. They could use their hive mind 1,000 Earth years ago. They don't need phones and cell phones and fax machines and shit and the internet to communicate. Hive mind from Europe to America or Canada, from here to Australia, from here to Japan, from here to darkest Africa, wherever. So I'm showing these insectoid creatures to get you to see what I'm getting at. They're grotesque. They're not quote-unquote human or humanoid. They're very different. Now, might they be in meat suits? Sure, they could be. And I'm showing some that might have a role of so-called authority in a sense. These entities, like the one earlier with the technology before this image. Some of them are at screens or they're manipulating things from outside of this level of the matrix. They might be in the astral level, astral realm, astral level of the matrix. Different frequency, manipulating shit using technology. Doesn't mean they're human beings or so-called humans or spirits like us. They could be very, very, very different, where they treat us like worms or maggots or food for them. Hive mind demons, where they can communicate, coordinate, and attack as one, in a sense. And they always talk about oneness and being the same and all one. And, oh, he thinks he's so different. He's so arrogant. They'll point at someone like me for daring to say I'm not the same as they are. To them, that's heresy. It's a great sin. Well, I am different. I'm a mad Viking. I'm proud to be different. I'm Viking strong. I'm independent. I'm an individual. I have my own mind, my own spirit, my own kingdom. I'm an individual. I'm a sovereign, magical, eternal being. I reject them and their kind. I stand against them. I oppose evil. I oppose the demonic hive mind system of this realm. I oppose them openly. Why do you think they hate me so much? Because I do openly oppose them. I do ruin some of their plans. I do fight them. I do disrupt them. They view me as someone that takes power away, takes influence away from them, takes shekels out of their the lowly demon pockets, the ones at the bottom of the pyramid begging for shekels on YouTube. Anyway, it goes deeper than that, but hopefully you understand what I'm saying. I hope that you understand what I'm getting at here. I hope this is making sense to you. I'm recording this after a long day, and it's been a rough day in some ways. Look how creepy, evil, sinister, grotesque, vile these things are. I tried to make them using AI to look as demonic as I could. Entities controlling a hive mind, controlling their drones, their insects. Whether they look like bees or not, doesn't matter. That isn't the point. This is just symbolic. All right? Some of them might look, quote, human on Earth. Most of them probably do. Maybe even near the top on Earth, on this level of the Matrix. The low-level demons at the bottom usually do. They can pass for human with most people. Most people can't detect what they're looking at or in the presence of. They perform. They do presentations, performances. They perform for you. They perform emotions. It's a performance for them. They're acting. And I'm not going to go into shit that South African says, like, they're NPCs. We need our copes. Dookie boy around. And he does this cackling, weird, demonic laugh. There's a lot of them on YouTube. You don't have to look very far to find these creatures. They're gross. They're evil. They stand together. As I said earlier, they're united far more than good is united. So they want you to believe that evil hasn't had the means until technology to be able to coordinate and communicate and orchestrate things. Bullshit. They did that in ancient times. How do you think they pulled it off? Not with little smartphones in their hands and cell phone towers, obviously. It's by what most people would call psychic or quote-unquote supernatural means. Through consciousness and their hive mind connection, their hive mind network. Again, it's like insectoid communication. They're hive. They're a hive. All right? Demons. And demons are psychotic. You can view them as psychotic. Most people that would say, well, daemon, doesn't that come from the Bible? No, it predates that. All right? It's not a religious term. But are psychos demons? Yeah, I think they are. Yeah. Are demons entities on the other levels that pretend to be your deceased relatives to trick you? Yeah. Are angels that quote-unquote save you in car wrecks to keep you in this realm and save you, quote, save you in various ways, are they demonic entities? Yeah, I think they are. Are aliens, or what people perceive to be aliens? Yeah, I think they're part of this matrix and demonic as well. We're in a demonic matrix. I call it a hell realm, and I also call it a sewer matrix. And I see that it has many levels. Again, this might not be the only matrix, but I try to focus on where we're at currently. But should you consider that there could be more than this matrix, beyond this? Who knows how many there could be? 50, 100, 1,000, a million? I don't know. And neither do you. Do you know why I say that? Does anyone listening even know why I say neither do you? I wonder if that much is clear to people. People. I do say it for a reason. Because there's a lot on YouTube that claim to know things that they couldn't know, that they don't know, that they have no proof that they have knowledge of. And they'll make fantastical claims, incredible claims, is what I meant to say, about all sorts of things that are impossible to know from inside of this matrix. A lot are dishonest. YouTube is controlled by evil. Google is controlled, obviously. Baby truthers know that. But somehow they miss, well, YouTube's controlled too. Just like television, newspapers, magazines, radio, Netflix, Hollywood movies, all forms of media, entertainment. It includes YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. It's controlled. It's controlled. A lot of people are stuck. They just view a channel and say, well, it's on YouTube. It's a, quote, truth channel. They told me a couple things, Stephen, that were true, some people say to me. And it's like, and? They told you a couple things that are true? Any demon can do that. Hillary Clinton could walk up to you and you could say, what's your name? And she'd say, you don't know me? I'm Hillary Clinton. Well, there, she told you the truth. She's a demon. And she told you some truth. Demons are capable of selling you or telling you some truth and then misleading you with many lies. It's a mixture. It's a demonic cocktail that they mix up. It's not always 50-50. It's not always 80-20 as some people claim. There's channels on YouTube that have very little truth and it's almost entirely lies. It might be 75, 85% lies and people are following it saying, well, they gave me some truth. People are looking for little nuggets of gold in the sewers, but they wouldn't do that in real life. I don't see them going down in actual sewers looking for little gold chains and rings, and they're in there. They do get flushed. They're in every major city. They're beneath your feet, but I don't see people going down there to look for them. Because people would say it's not worth it. It's not worth sifting through sewage and shit. And the stench and the fumes and methane gas and having to wear a mask that's, I think, a respirator or whatever, like where they get filtered air and so that you don't succumb to the fumes. They'd say it's not worth it. Searching for weeks, you might or might not find anything worth anything. Anyway, that's what people do on YouTube, though. They look through shit and they try to justify it. They try to justify watching shit channels by saying, well, there's a little bit of truth there. There's a little bit of truth. And when I look over at them, to me, I can visualize them standing chest deep in sewage, raw sewage, and I'm just shaking my head going, why are you standing in sewage? Like, you don't see where you are? I know demons will say, well, he bashes every channel. The vast majority are shit on YouTube. If you don't like it, too bad. The vast majority are shit. The vast majority have their hands out for money. They're begging for shekels. They're grifters. They're scammers. They're shills. They're gatekeepers. They're liars. They're demons. They're felons. They're psychos. They're violent. They're dangerous. They're death cults. They're all sorts of shit. And people make all these excuses because they want to hang on to and then say, well, what am I going to watch if I don't watch this shit? They're just desperate to watch anything. It's really pathetic. It truly is. Truly is. Would you let your children watch the most vile, degenerate filth and say, well, they have to watch something and justify it that way? Think about what you're ingesting. Think about it. Think about what you're feeding your spirit and what's feeding on you. You don't just feast on shit or Hollywood. It feasts on you. Wake up. Pay attention to the demonic shit of this realm.